bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet
North Alabama is full of adventure. If you love food, we've got it. If you love festivals, we've got them. If you love the outdoors, we've got plenty of places to explore. Whatever you love, we're sure to have something for you. For all things North Alabama, check out northalabama.org.
It's bow time. You've probably heard folks say, don't call it a comeback. But at Bojangles, we don't like to beat around the bush. So when the sizzling, savory pork chop griller's back in all its tender, marinated, chili lime glory, and you can snap up 2 of them for $6, go ahead, call it a comeback. Get 2 legendary pork chop grillers for just $6, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
With a house surrounded by pine trees planted in 1961, April and I knew it was time to do something about it. So we called James Paul. With over 25 years in the business, James Paul Tree Service offers their knowledge and experience, along with honesty and dependability, which gives you peace of mind when it comes to tree removal, tree cleanup, and clearing. Give James Paul a call at 256-777-0711.
Before they fall, give James Paul a call.
Boutique Air in Muscle Shoals, Alabama offers direct flights to Atlanta and Pensacola. Boutique Air service runs twice daily, 7 days a week, with fares starting at $59. Follow Boutique Air Muscle Shoals on Facebook at Boutique Air MSL and book your flight through boutiqueair.com. Boutique Air,
where you can fly private for the cost of commercial.
Hey everybody, this is Daryl Worley, and you're listening to The Mark White Show. Hey, step up and make a difference like he does.
Hey y'all, this is Jeff Foxworthy, and you can make a huge difference in somebody's life. You just may not have figured out how yet, and that's why you're listening to The Mark White Show.
Hi, this is Maggie Peterson. I played Charlene Darling on The Andy Griffith Show, and you are listening to The Mark White Show.
Hi folks, this is Ricky Skaggs, and you're listening to The Mark White Show.
Hello, I'm Gene Stallings, and this is The Mark White Show. Get off the sideline and get involved and make a difference in your community.
You are listening to The Mark White Show. My daddy is your host, Mark White.
welcome to another edition of The Mark White Show. I'm glad that you all can be with us today as I head to Kentucky to talk to a couple of very special boys. I reached out to their dad after I saw a picture of the boys with their hands on their hearts as they acknowledged the national anthem and respected the national anthem. And if you've listened to the Mark White Show over the past few years, you know that this show proudly shares love of country, and I hope you do too. And that's exactly why I have on the line with me right now Jackson and Jude Hill, along with their dad Jace. Their mom Jamie's nearby. Welcome to the Mark White Show, Hill family.
Hey, thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. And first, right off the bat, Jace, thank you for sharing that picture. That's from your home. It's a moment that obviously you could have kept to yourself, but you felt like your boys were stepping up in a way that needed to be seen, and I appreciate the fact that you did share the picture.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I wasn't surprised, but I was surprised just knowing my boys and how they are. You know, like the original post said, I was in the kitchen for once helping my wife cook. I think she'll vouch that doesn't happen very often, but it was game one of the World Series, and the national anthem came on. So I was in there messing with some hamburger meat, and I hollered at Jack, said, "Hey, Jack, who's singing the national anthem?" He's like, "I don't know." So I just stopped for a second, went in there to see for myself, and what I saw was them standing there with their eyes just glued to the screen with their hand over their heart.
Well, Jackson, Jude, are you in athletics? Are you involved in sports?
Yeah, I play basketball, and sometimes I play football. And I want to play baseball this year or next year.
The fact is, when I was in high school, and I didn't play sports until high school, and of course the band would always play the national anthem, and we would stand there and put our hands over our heart. And to me, it was a very special moment as part of the game, and part of the game where I feel like players come together on both sides of the field when you have something that you can unify under, like the American flag.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's at least for, a minute and 30 seconds that the two teams can come together.
That's right, because you're back at it after that's over. It's game on, and it's time to play.
That's right.
So tell me this, when y'all were in the room and the World Series game was going and you hear the national anthem, at what point did either one of you say, "Hey, let's stand here and put our hands on our heart"? When did you do that? I know your dad got a picture of it, but at what point did y'all decide to do that?
Right when it started, or every time we hear it, we just start to stand up and put our hand on our heart.
And why do you do that, Jax?
Because I want to respect our country. Because my great-grandpa, he served in the Navy during the Korean War.
Well, my grandfather served in the Navy during World War II, and he was a cook on the USS Lexington, and I've actually been through that vessel, and to respect him and his service to our country, just like with you and your great-grandfather, I know that means a lot. And do you have family members who are serving in the military, Jax, currently?
No, sir.
And who has let you know your family history? Who has let you know that this is what your great-grandfather did serving our country during Korea?
My mom told me.
What did you think about it when she shared with you that he had served in that way?
I thought that he was a good guy, and I'm glad he did that.
Did you ever have a chance to meet your great-granddad?
Yes, sir.
He did. His name was Bill Berge, and actually my wife's other grandfather, Jackson, and Jude's other great-grandfather served in the military as well. That we never got a chance to meet him. Of course, I didn't. I think he passed away before I was in the family. And, of course, Jackson, Jude didn't get to meet him.
He passed away when I was probably around Jackson's age or a little young.
But now the other one, even Jamie and her cousins didn't call him Granddad. He was always Bill.
We called him Bill.
Yeah, he didn't want to be called Granddad. He was just Bill.
Well, I started that.
Okay, so he started it, but Bill, like I said, he served in the Korean War, and he just passed away in February of 2017. So Jackson and Jude both were really, really close with him. They spent a lot of time with him.
It's interesting because my grandfather's name was Bill as well. He was William, and they called him Billy. Having that connection, that's interesting that both served in the Navy, one in Korea and the other in World War II. But, obviously we both understand what it meant to go leave your country and go and serve the citizens in that way, to put your life on the line. We have an organization right now in Huntsville, Alabama called Honored Legacies for Veterans, and we have a couple of veterans within the group that are over 100 years old. One of them is Major Wooten, and he'll be 105 in December, so we're getting ready to celebrate his 105th birthday. But these men went over as young men and served our country, and just like Jack said, it's a way of us showing our respect for the service that they committed for all of us, even future generations.
Absolutely. That's the way I was raised, and the way that my wife and I try to raise them, to understand that, all these freedoms that we have aren't free, and they were paid with a great sacrifice.
You've seen the comments that people have made that you as parents are raising your young boys right, and those comments have continued to come through as I've monitored the post and seen what people have said, and really a lot of compliments. But it does start in the home. I have a 7-year-old daughter, and if I don't share with her my love of country, then I'm making a mistake as her dad.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you come to our house around the 4th of July, I mean, that's pretty much our favorite holiday here. We have a friend that lives down the road that, you know, we get together and invest quite a bit of money into some fireworks. But I mean, we always dress up. You know, we've got stars and stripes shorts and shirts and shoes and capes and everything else. So 4th of July, you'll see my boys looking pretty patriotic.
You can usually catch Jackson riding his four-wheeler around the yard with the American flag hanging off the back.
Yep.
We have another young man around here. His name's Trey Fox, and I was able to talk to Trey just a few weeks ago, and he goes to car shows and different events, and I'm wearing his wristband right now. It says, "In God We Trust," and then it says, "Faith and Freedom," and he gives those to veterans and other people, and he has one of these all-terrain vehicles that is decorated up in the American flag, so he has it wrapped in the American flag, and he takes it to the car shows, and like I said, he gives out these wristbands and he talks to veterans and tells them thank you for their service. And he's just 14 years old, Jace, a 14-year-old. And here we got a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old and your children doing the same thing.
Absolutely. And it wouldn't surprise me that when Jack turns 16, he's supposed to get the truck that I have right now. And I'm going to buy me something new. But he kind of likes the truck I have. But it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up getting that thing painted, you know, red, white, and blue.
I'd love to see it when that's done.
Yeah, he's got a couple flags hanging in his room. We've got the American flag. We've got back the blue. Yeah, he keeps picking out more, so we keep having to.
Well, if it's okay, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk some more about this. And I'm a former police officer. I served in my communities here in North Alabama, and we just lost an officer recently in the line of duty, and of course, that's something that's happening across the country. We honor those who have sacrificed, like Sergeant Nick Reisner, who lost his life in Sheffield, Alabama. And if y'all will stick with us, we'll continue this conversation, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, folks, right now we have Jace and Jamie and Jax and Jude on the line with us, the Hill family from Kentucky. You saw the picture. If you follow the Mark White Show on Facebook, you saw the picture of Jax and Jude in the living room with their hands on their heart, and they weren't even told to do that. That's just something that they do because they love our country, and I hope that this show is an encouragement to you. Maybe you've kind of backed off on the things that maybe you used to do that were patriotic, maybe things that you used to do like the 4th of July when you had celebrations. I don't want you to back off on those things. I want you to love your country. I want you to feel that patriotism, and I think that does unify us as a people. So I hope you'll stick with us as we continue this conversation with the Hill family. You are listening to The Mark White Show, and I'm your host, Mark White.
A little wink, a pat on the back, a big old hug, a little laugh. We can make a difference. All we have to do is try. Yeah, every day's a chance to change somebody else's life. Let's all do something good today.
It's bow time. You've probably heard folks say, don't call it a comeback. But at Bojangles, we don't like to beat around the bush. So when the sizzling, savory pork chop griller's back in all its tender, marinated, chili lime glory, and you can snap up 2 of them for $6, go ahead, call it a comeback. Get 2 legendary pork chop grillers for just $6, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
North Alabama is full of adventure. If you love food, we've got it. If you love festivals, we've got them. If you love the outdoors, we've got plenty of places to explore. Whatever you love, we're sure to have something for you. For all things North Alabama, check out northalabama.org.
Experience the difference at Athens Bible School. The vision and purpose is to provide each student a quality education in a Christ-centered environment to develop the whole person spiritually, mentally, physically, and socially in safe and supportive surroundings. The solid biblical foundation permeates learning and culture in the classrooms and every extracurricular activity.
Thompson Roofing and Construction is a locally owned family business serving the North Alabama and Southern Tennessee area. They are a Better Business Bureau A+ member since 2011 and a GAF Master Elite contractor. Give them a call at 256-952-3309 or check them out on the web at 256roofing.com. They offer free inspections.
Thompson Roofing and Construction.
With over 25 years in the business, James Paul Tree Service offers their knowledge and experience, along with honesty and dependability, which gives you peace of mind when it comes to tree removal, tree cleanup, and clearing. Give James Paul a call at 256-777-0711.
Before they fall, give James Paul a call.
Mr. Cecil Batchelor is the one that started this business as Dependable Service Center. And even though now it's Green's Dependable Hardware and we're a True Value store, our tagline is still Your Dependable Service Center. We've tried to keep that alive for all these years. Mr. Batchelor really started a good business. We're really excited to be carrying on a long-standing tradition. It's the oldest retail store in the city of Russellville. We're Green's Dependable Hardware, 15220A Highway 43 in Russellville, Alabama. We're right behind McDonald's or right across the street from the hospital. Number is 256-331-0123.
Your Dependable Service Center.
Hi, I'm Crystal Gale, and you're listening to The Mark White Show. And one smile can make a difference. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Someone loves you, I do.
He drives into the city, works extra hard all day. He finishes up early so he can get away. 'Cause there's a blue-eyed kid on second base, wants Dad to watch him play.
Welcome back to the Mark White Show. I'm so glad to be able to talk to a very special family in Kentucky. It's the Hill family, Jace, Jamie, Jax, and Jude. 12 years old and 8 years old. Jax is 12 and Jude is 8. And they were listening to the national anthem with their hands over their heart. The dad took a picture, Jace took a picture, and he shared that. And I'm so glad that they're on the line with me right now as we continue to talk about patriotism, love of country. Welcome back to the Mark White Show, Hill family.
Oh, thank you. Again, we're super excited and to be with you, and so glad you asked us. When I told the boys we were going to be doing this morning when I was driving them to school, they started grinning ear to ear and got super.
I love that because, Jace, I have a vehicle now to be able to have guys like Jax and Jude on my show and to give them an opportunity to have their voice heard. And that's important to me. As I mentioned in the last segment, I'm a former police officer, and I love being able to talk to young people. I used to go to lunch at the school that I worked at, and I had an opportunity to connect with those kids. And although I'm not a law enforcement officer anymore, I do feel like the Mark White Show does give me that chance to give Jax and Jude and other young people a way of being able to share their thoughts and their feelings, and I am really glad that I'm able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely, and we appreciate you. Even though you're not serving anymore, we do appreciate what you did. My father was a police officer for a while where we're from for nearly 10 years. So I know the sacrifice that goes along with that, having to be away from your family and, not knowing what kind of calls you're going to be called to. It takes a special person.
That's right. And you mentioned that Jax has a flag in his room, back the blue, and I appreciate that, Jax. What is your connection to law enforcement? Is it because of your granddad serving? Is that why you support law enforcement in the way you do, buddy?
Yeah, that's some of the reason. I also respect them for what they do.
Do you have any friends that are police officers? Do you have a school resource officer that's a buddy of yours?
No, sir.
Let me add that we do have resource officers around here in the schools, and actually we met one a few days ago in public. I don't think Jackson realized it, but I saw the officer get back in his car after we left the dentist. We walked into the dentist, and Jackson held the door open for him, and he made a point to come to me and tell me how I had such a fine young man and well-mannered young man.
Oh, wow. I know that means a lot to you, Jamie, and I know you've been excited about the boys and the response so far with the picture that Jace took. I know you're super proud of your boys.
Absolutely.
And again, like I said, my dad was a police officer, so that's what, Jamie and I have tried to teach our boys, that cops aren't bad people. Cops are good people. A lot of things that are shared on social media and then news and stuff today tries to paint them in a very bad light. But, if anything like that ever comes on or, posts come across social media or whatever, we fight that pretty quick.
The thing about it is when we go back to the picture that you took, and it is a great example, and sharing it with others, I think it has encouraged a lot of people. I had one veteran that made the comment that he had served in the Army, and he really appreciated the boys because there are some people out there who may not feel very hopeful right now. And when we can share those types of things, and that for an older generation especially that has kind of watched the country change over the past 30, 40, 50 years in a way that maybe they don't appreciate, it gives them hope when you see a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old with that kind of respect and reverence towards our country.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you want to say anything, buddy? You haven't talked a whole lot yet.
Football?
Yeah, he hasn't started sports yet. He's just in the 3rd grade and hadn't started sports yet. Jude is like super smart, does really well in school, and is really good with the games and stuff. I mean, he'll sit down and he has figured out how to create characters on his computer and do like some coding stuff that I don't even know how to explain.
Wow. Well, my daughter's in the 2nd grade, so she's close to your age, Jude. I tell you, for an 8-year-old, there's a lot of potential there when it comes to that type of environment. My 20-year-old nephew that lives with us, he's big into computers, and he plays those games, and he's actually studying to be a computer programmer. So that's something that you might eventually look into, Jude.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Pretty cool.
You can't see your thumbs up.
How about this World Series, guys? What do you think? I know yesterday it looked like the Braves might go on a solid run with the 4-0 lead and then to fall behind, and now we're headed to Houston. What do you think about that, Jackson, Jude?
I was pretty mad.
Yeah, kind of pulling for the Braves. We have to put out there that we're actually St. Louis Cardinal fans, though, right, buddy? Okay.
Yeah.
We love our teams, and when they're doing well, we're happy. When they're not doing well, we're not happy, and we come together during those times, and I do like the idea of the patriotism and love the fact that you boys decided that you love our country enough that you're going to respect it when you hear the national anthem. And so, Jackson, Jude, I want to tell you from the Mark White Show that I appreciate you both, boys.
Thank you.
And yeah, and I just want to say that, like you said, everybody comes together at this time. We also try to teach them that even though everybody may not agree on everything, we're still supposed to love and respect every person. So whether that's in sports or life in general, just because we disagree doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Hey, I agree with that completely, Jason. I think we can go a lot further in life that way. Lead by example, as I mentioned from the beginning. If we show by example, this is how we want to live, and you have to focus on your family. I have to focus on my family. I have to focus on, is Mark doing his part? Is Jace doing his part? Is Jamie doing her part? Are the boys doing their part? Worry about ourselves, and if we do that, that helps take care of a lot of things, and leading by example can certainly influence other people. Well, again, I want to thank you all for joining me here on the Mark White Show today, and boys, you just keep up the good work. Jackson, Jude, again, I'm proud of you, and you keep doing what you're doing. And Jace and Jamie, you keep doing what you're doing as parents. And I just want you to know that here at the Mark White Show, we appreciate that example. And I know that my daughter, as she sees young people like that, it's a powerful influence on her as we continue to love our country, to show how we want to live and be an example to others.
Absolutely. And again, it was an honor for each and every one of us, I know, sitting here in the living room to be on the call with you. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk to the boys and having us on the show.
Absolutely. And anytime.
Clapping. So.
Was that some clapping?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
I have a sister who's not with us right now.
Yeah.
But she could have been here to join in as well.
Yeah, her name's Landon.
Off in college at U of L.
Yep.
All right.
Proud of herself.
Yeah, she's doing the computer stuff as well. She's going on the graphic design side, which I used to do a little bit of that. So, not saying she got it from me, but I think she saw me growing up. She saw me doing it.
Nice.
she's gone off on that route. She's in just started her 4th year at University of Louisville. So yeah, we are super proud of her as well.
Well, I'll be in Louisville on the 20th of November. I'm headed up to stay with some friends and go to a concert that J.D. Shelburne is going to be at for Down syndrome, an organization called Angels in Disguise, and they help with heart surgeries for children that have Down syndrome. They provide scholarships, and really a great organization. If you get a chance to check it out, I looked at the map to see how close it was to Louisville, but I'll be staying in Louisville on the 20th of November, looking forward to driving up there to Kentucky. Always a great trip up I-65 for me, and my family's been able to go with me several times. So y'all live in a great place, and I appreciate you and being able to join me here on the show today.
Hey, absolutely. We're super proud of where we live and where we're from and all the people that we know. And again, we really appreciate you taking the time to have us on the show. We just also want to say thank you to all the veterans and police officers and people like that have been commenting and sharing the posts. You are the reason that we teach our boys to do things like this, and we are so grateful for every one of you that have given your time and honestly putting your life on the line to ensure that we have the freedoms that we have. So thank you very much. Jude, you want to tell them thank you?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and the boys say thank you as well.
And that's a perfect message for upcoming veterans celebrations. And we've got at my daughter's school, they're doing a slideshow of those who've served in our country, and they do that every year to honor those who have served. And we do appreciate here on the Mark White Show all those who've served our country. So thank you for making that mention, Jace. Folks, here on the Mark White Show, we're recognizing difference makers like Jace and Jamie and Jax and Jude, and we appreciate them. And Landon, who wasn't with us, but we appreciate her too. Recognizing difference makers is what it's about, and I hope that it's an encouragement to you that you want to share this with your friends, your family, and your neighbors, and let them know about the Mark White Show and what we're doing to make a difference in our communities, not just where I'm at, but across the country and the world. You can do this. You can be a light. You can be an example, and that's what this show's about. I want you to follow the Mark White Show on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn so you can see guys like Jax and Jude and see the picture with their hands on their hearts and celebrating our country. And also, you can subscribe to the Mark White Show podcast via Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Audio Boom, SoundCloud, Blueberry, YouTube, and TuneIn Radio. You have been listening to another edition of the Mark White Show, and this is Mark White, encouraging you to find your purpose by making a difference in someone's life today.
Who live and love in my hometown. These are my kind of people.
Located in Tuscumbia, Alabama, the Alabama Music Hall of Fame honors Alabama's music achievers. You can even go into the recording studio and try out your talents as a singer. That's the Alabama Music Hall of Fame, located at 617 Highway 72 West in Tuscumbia, Alabama. Open Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Give them a call at 256-381-4417. Check them out on the web at alamhof.org.
Boutique Air in Muscle Shoals, Alabama offers direct flights to Atlanta and Pensacola. Boutique Air service runs twice daily, 7 days a week, with fares starting at $59. Follow Boutique Air Muscle Shoals on Facebook at Boutique Air MSL and book your flight through boutiqueair.com. Boutique Air,
where you can fly private for the cost of commercial.
Is it time for a haircut? Go see my friends Philip Butler and B.H. Parker at Southwind Barbershop, located at 1637 Lee Street in Rogersville, Alabama. Give them a call at 256-247-5658. That's 256-247-5658.
Oh, won't you hear me, people, when I say, well, let's all do something good today. Something good today.